Hey y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. Hope everybody is doing well out here. We are officially on Christmas week for those who celebrate it. And we are also 2 weeks away, folks, from it being 2023. What a day, folks. I'm sorry for being a little bit late. First, I was cooking dinner for the family, and then for some reason, Restream would not let me stream. I had to redo it 3 times, but we're here now. We gonna talk. So, folks, I just left Beatzilla and Black Alpha space, and I swear to God, y'all know about the Greenwich Median Time? I'm sure you do. We got a new word for it, folks. GMT stands for Goat Milk Twitter, because Goat Milk Twitter showed up in their space and were knocking the fight for reparations. Oh, they bold, brother. They bold. Brothers and sisters, they are so bold. It doesn't make sense. Why are you hating on people getting money? Never understood that. But we understand it. Right now, unfortunately, those countries and those people understand that Black Americans are the number one Americans of the Black diaspora on the planet. And when they talk, I'm talking about the freedmen. When they talk, people listen. The world moves by the beat of their words and actions. And it pains them, because as much as they want to talk big and bad, they are not on code. Their people are not on code. And we're going to get into that tonight, folks. Because despite all these, what they call tethers and ops coming through, trying to disrupt the message, us in B1 Society have a message for them. No one is changing the message. No one is changing the message. The message is succinct, it is clear, and not to be fussed with. The descendants of American Black chattel slavery deserve and are rightfully owed reparations. Point blank, period. There's no two ways about it. Nobody's going to sit up here and try to change the message. Nobody's going to get on panels talking about that they don't deserve it. Because once freedmen get it, guess what? You dum-dums, you can take the blueprint and go to your people and get the money that is so rightfully owed to you. It's not that hard. It's really not. If your country was on code, you could dominate Africa. If your country was on code, you could dominate the Caribbean. You wouldn't let the eastern side of the world dominate your country, which we're going to get into, because tonight I'm going to say something that most of us know, but a lot of people don't want to admit. And it's going to go a long way to hopefully waking up Africa, because Africa right now is on my shit list. But let's begin with my lineage, Jamaica. Because I heard some Jamaicans also saying that y'all don't deserve y'all's reparations. Oh, Jamaica. Y'all worried about hip hop? Y'all worried about Afro beats? Hey, Jamaica, by the way, before we begin, how come y'all still ain't go check Stoneboy for what he said about reggae belonging to Africa? How come y'all didn't go check that, man? Oh, I get it. Y'all think y'all African. Got it. Cool. We gonna leave that alone for now. But yeah, let's begin with Jamaica. Shout out to the Bunker TV. Check out that channel if you haven't. Great content. He put up a video literally a few minutes ago that I found interesting, and it's going to coincide with an article that I'm going to read. Since Jamaicans want to worry about black people's reparations up here, and I've told them months ago, now that the queen is fighting off the maggots with her scepter, go get your money from King Charles. But they're not listening. Okay, so let's hear one of the country women say what the truth is about America.
You see, this message is for everybody at Jamaica who are killing themselves to come foreign. Foreign nice, you know, me not lie. Foreign nice. There's a lot of opportunities here, but one thing people not telling about foreign. And when time people do telling about foreign, and the things say them bad mind and they don't want to come here and the whole shebang. So let me tell you about foreign. There are opportunities in America. Me not lie about that, because things where we can attain in America in a small period of time probably will take somebody a lifetime in Jamaica to reach those same achievements, right? But with America, you have to understand that this is a plantation. The society was built off of the same formula that they use to maintain the plantations. So when you're coming at the workforce in America and then tell you about the American dream, and you did try catch the American dream, which is the house with the white picket fence, the husband, the 2.5 kids, the good education and the big job, and all of these big cars and everything where you have to maintain. The catch is you're going to work till you're dead, till you're literally dead, turn over, resurrect, your soul come back in our new body and work again to pay off the American dream. Okay? So me I tell you now, say the American dream is a fraud. You can come get it if you want, but you are going to work till you're dead. You have people who in their 50s, 60s right now are work double shift, 16 hours a day them are work. And then can sit down, then can go to go sit down and chill and laugh with them bridging like how you do a Jamaica on the job. Then can show up late a morning time, then can I go, then can have bad customer service, then can drink one beer pan them break. Then can do none of that. Them have to go to work and you literally walk. Some people only get one 30-minute break in an 8 hour. When you're supposed to get 2:15 and a 30. And when your 8 hour done, your boss come and tell you, say, yo, you have to stay, you're mandated to work another 8-hour shift. And because you have to pay for all of this American dream where you got trust from the bank, and you have all of these loans and debt, you have to stay there to work that other 8 hour. Right? So run come a foreign if you don't want, but me I telling you, say, be prepared for the truth. And the truth is, you not go work till you're dead. And if you not work till you're dead, you not go almost dead. So here I want to do, when you come a foreign, have a 10-year plan. You work hard. You get every money where you can get. You send your money back a yard. Me don't want to hear about how Jamaica violent. Me don't want to hear about that you buy a piece of land and you build one house and you put on one car down there and you cut.
So for all your scratching and your clawing, and you think you're going to come over here and you're going to undermine the Yankee boy, black American, for your spot, you're going to have to get in line, because it's a plantation and you're going to work till you're for dead. Bless up.
All right, family. So y'all heard that. Hold on, sorry. So y'all saw that, family. Y'all saw that. Thank you, ma'am, for that insightful analysis. Couldn't help noticing that you were sitting in a Tesla, though. Couldn't help noticing that. But, you know, that's, I'm sure they have Teslas in Jamaica, so we're not even going to talk about that. But you said a 10-year plan. Take your money and run. How many Jamaicans are really doing that? I know Jamaicans send their money back home, but a lot of them stay up here till they're old. But okay. The part that pissed me off was when you said America is a plantation. You stole that from the black grassroots. So it's clear you listened to us. It's clear you listened to, you know, the grassroots talking points. Or, you're online. I get it, though. I get it. That's the cool sayings. We got the cool sayings over here in the black grassroots. We got the lingo popping. You said I don't want to hear about Jamaica being violent. You don't want to hear about Jamaica being violent. Interesting choice of words, ma'am. Interesting choice of words. Bam. Interesting choice of words. You talking about Jamaica being violent. Now, for those who know, about 2 months ago, I talked about a situation they had in Jamaica at Olympia Gardens where they had 3 days of shootings and killings. Matter of fact, I did a whole live stream about Jamaica, highlighting how dangerous it is. But you want to go on this video on this TikTok talking about you don't want to hear about Jamaica being violent. Ma'am, you said it so yourself in your video. There's no opportunities down there in Jamaica, and it's violent. There's a reason for that. The people down there are still with a European mindset. They're expecting white people to save them. Unfortunately, now the Asians are about to run the market down there. And they make money off the dysfunction. Because people down there that are on code are trying to tell y'all, knock that off. Let's get together. Y'all can go touch Andrew Holness. Y'all won't go do it. Y'all won't go scare that man into doing what's right for your country. And y'all know where that man lives. I'm not saying y'all gonna run up on him in his house, but I'm saying y'all could catch that man when he's about to go to Parliament and have a conversation with that man on the spot. But no, y'all don't want to go do that. Y'all expect the king to go save you. The king ain't gonna save you. But let's read this article. Jamaica reimposes state of emergency. Tourism industry threatened by high crime rate. That's for y'all that like to leave the resorts and go down into the hood thinking you're going to get that good weed. Yeah, they're telling you better stay on them resorts. Jamaica's state of emergency may threaten its tourism industry as crime continues to increase in the country and local authorities struggle to clamp down on you. This is a call out to England. This is a call out. They're going to send troops down there. If y'all don't get this situation rectified, Jamaica, maybe I got to be the one to tell you. England might take you back over. They might, because remember, when I did that live stream, England has a lot of power over your politics. They could easily go into Parliament and put out a vote and say, we got to go send some of Her Majesty's troops, His Majesty's troops over there. I guess y'all want British soldiers running through the grill, huh? All right. Have fun with that. But of course, also, it's Christmas time. A lot of people go to Jamaica for Christmas. So that's going to cut a large swath in your bottom line for the year. But all right, this is what y'all want. That is all the government is trying to do, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness said, adding that Jamaicans have to hide under their beds, hide their daughters, can't go to church and see their sons and their boyfriends and husbands killed. That's the reality. And Jamaicans, they love them some church, especially this year. Church is on a Sunday and it's Christmas. So they want to be able to have this Christmas services. To pass the boy them. This is where they're going to make the bulk of their money for the year. in between getting the various 13 pans of curry goat from the congregation. The U.S. State Department on October 5th issued a level 3 travel advisory indicating that Americans should reconsider travel due to an increased risk of crime in the country. Level 3 risks. We're going to talk about those risks in a little while. We're going to talk about those risks. Let's continue. The advisory noted that violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, SAs, and homicides are common, and that the SAs occur frequently, even at all-inclusive resorts. Let's read that last part again. The advisory noted that violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, SAs, and homicides are common, and that SAs occur frequently, even at all-inclusive resorts. Anybody can go to an all-inclusive resort. They can go on the grounds. This is for y'all that like to go into them towns and pick up people that you met, thinking you're going to have a night of passion, and you ended up getting SA'd. But all right. Local police lack the resources to respond effectively to serious criminal incidents, the advisory stated. Emergency services vary throughout the island, and response times may vary from U.S. standards. The homicide rate reported by the government in Jamaica has for several years been among the highest in the Western Hemisphere. Jamaica appeared to acknowledge the severity of its problem by declaring a state of emergency on November 15th in order to better empower authorities to deal with the crime in the capital of Kingston, as well as popular tourist spots like Montego Bay. Then it reissued a renewed state of emergency on December 6th due to increased violence and gang-related crimes. But these are the same people who want to talk about Chicago. All right. Good for you. The state of emergency has proven controversial as authorities can arrest people and search buildings without a warrant, potentially leading to police abuse, critics argue, but homeless stress the need to crack down on the problem. Right. I like that paragraph right there, because these same Jamaicans who bring up Chicago also like to bring up the fact that Black Americans are only in gangs, and we keep our kids away from y'all because y'all are in gangs, and the cops beat y'all up all the time. But Jamaica, the squatties down there are a lot worse than the cops up here. English Overstreet, you seem new. Hello. Yes, the squatties, what they like to call Babylon down there, they're a lot worse. Now, NYPD and LAPD are among the top 5 in the world. I dare say Jamaica might be top. Jamaican squatties are probably top 5 as well. There are videos on YouTube and other various sites of squatties taking people out of their homes and beating them on the street. During an investigation, they went to go ask questions and they're beating people. But yes, let's talk about Black Americans. Go ahead, have fun. We have some really serious criminal threats facing us. We have to use all the powers at our disposal, Holden said. Tourism provides Jamaica its main source of income, accounting for as much as 29% of the country's GDP in 2019, pre-scamdemic, according to Statista, and tied with remittance, money or goods sent back from nationals who emigrated from the country. That's what that woman said back in that video. Jamaica welcomed more than 1.5 million tourists in 2021 who spent more than $2.095 billion, according to Caribbean Tourism Organization. And the U.S. accounts for the most significant spending and best performing market for tourists to the island, with fewer than 3 million of stopover arrivals, longer than 24 hours for international travelers in 2021. The 1-2 punch of a U.S. travel advisor and national state emergency can significantly hinder Jamaica's tourism industry and therefore threaten its economy, according to David Katz, a former U.S. federal agent who was the founder and CEO of Global Security Group, Inc. Google that company for me later, family, and interesting what you find. In years past, the state, depending on the political situation, was sometimes reluctant to even issue a warning. Katz told Fox News Digital, explaining that an advisory alone can hurt the economy is not generally well received by the subject of the advisory. Notice you ain't hear Jamaica say anything. Jamaica's on board with it. Katz noted that people will do a lot to ignore the travel advisory warning, but that Jamaica's state of emergency will likely have a greater impact and get attention. Well, a lot of people pay money, especially this time of year, to go down there. We're talking thousands of dollars. People rent villas. People go to these all-inclusive resorts. People go see family and spend American dollars down there, which they prefer. So, yeah. Probably these next 2 weeks, they probably would maybe get close to what they had in 2021. They'll probably eclipse it. For me, for Jamaica to say we have a state of emergency, we are completely out of control, that's going to have an impact, Katz said. Katz also highlighted the greater need to focus on safety while traveling by pointing to the situation in Peru in which hundreds of American tourists cannot leave the country due to the protests that broke out over the past week following the removal of Pedro Castillo from his post as president. At least 200 Americans remain stranded in Machu Picchu with no way of ever returning to their hotels, let alone going home, since protesters shut down trains, roadways, and airport runways. Yeah. I ask people all the time, where are you going to go? Do they have a professional fire department? What are the traffic laws? What are the statistics for fatal traffic accidents? Jamaica has a lot of traffic accidents. Katz said, adding that statistically, the greatest number of Americans who are either seriously injured or killed overseas as a result of traffic accidents. So, you want to look at these things. You also need to understand some basics. You need places to stay. You need a way in and a way out. You need medical. Does your medical insurance cover you when you cross the border? Well, that's why they usually ask you when you buy your tickets, do you want insurance? We would recommend in our practice, defer all non-essential travel unless there was something really, really critically necessary about the trip. Put it off, Katz said. A request for comment from Jamaica's Foreign Ministry and Tourism Board was not immediately returned. But y'all want to talk about Black American reparations when y'all have situations at home that you should be focused on. Got it. Got it. Again, no one is changing the message. It's not that hard. Get on code, you will get supported. Get on code, you will get supported. It's 2 million plus of y'all, and y'all can't shake this government. You have, at the minimum, 25 million black folks in this country, America, saying no more, things need to change, and we're going to do what we need to do to facilitate that change. The entire world moves. It's no coincidence that ever since reparations ratcheted up the last half of this year, every country on earth has had something to say. Shout out to the room. CRU, Realty, DSB, English Overstreet, Maxwell Jenkins, and Film Animation Art. Be one to everyone. And shout out to M. Flournoy and Codified Trucking on Patreon. It's not that difficult, folks. It's not that difficult to comprehend that all these countries want to run out here and talk about reparations because it gives them light. It gives them a quick spotlight to put out their anti-Black American sentiments on people. I think they're going to get in with the dominant society. Now, all of a sudden, your dirty laundry is coming out. Lady Afa, hello. Jamaica, I'm going to need you to get your countrymen in order. Tell them stop talking about what black Americans are doing. Y'all got problems at home. A lot of y'all finna go jump on Air Jamaica and JetBlue and Delta airline flights probably Wednesday, if you haven't left already, to go down to Jamaica where it ain't safe. Ten to one, y'all probably forget about reparations when you get down there, because y'all just want to go to the beach. I don't want to go to the rum bars and drink ponting and all that. No. And you come back up here and coon, like that woman did in that video, sitting in a Tesla in the parking lot talking about how America's a plantation. You don't have the right. Because dare I say, Jamaica right now looks like a plantation in disarray. Because the person that they appointed, because we all know the story that how Massa couldn't stay around in prayer circles with black folks, so he put a black person in there to translate what they were saying, so he could find out if they were plotting on him. They put wholeness in that seat, just like they put Portia Simpson in that seat beforehand, and Jamaica has not progressed. Like Jason Black said, they should be Dubai. I say they should be the Tokyo of the Caribbean, because everybody wants to go to Jamaica. Anywhere in the world, you say Caribbean, first place they go, Jamaica. There's value in Jamaica. If Jamaica was on code, do you understand? Family, Jamaica don't even have skyscrapers. Now, I'm not saying they have to have it, but I'm just saying Jamaica has not one skyscraper. Jamaica, family, has no modern looking city. Family, with all these technological advances the entire world has made, do you understand over the past decade, Jamaica just finally got reliable Wi-Fi? And there was something else in that video that I need to touch on that she said. She said, y'all Jamaicans that come up here have to deal with the loans and the money issues up here. I forgot what she said, but that's basically what she said, paraphrasing it. Ma'am, again, you're sitting in a Tesla parking lot talking like that. You should not, as a Jamaican woman, talk about money problems and predatory loans where y'all are still under the thumb of the IMF and Cash Plus. Y'all should not be talking. Y'all are okay. For those who don't know what the IMF is, the IMF is the International Monetary Fund. A lot of countries that are third world have been under the thumb of that for decades. Decades. Which has given Western and Eastern powers the ability to go to Jamaica and putting infrastructure and then come back around and basically slice up the island for what they want, which we've seen. I seem to remember y'all going down there, ma'am, and protesting when IMF was about to cut y'all off. Talking about Jamaica was not going to make it. Got it. Y'all haven't learned from Greece. Y'all didn't learn from Germany. Y'all didn't learn from Mexico. Y'all didn't learn. Y'all didn't learn from Ecuador. Y'all didn't learn none of this. Y'all defaulted on your loans in 2010. $8 billion. Maybe if you got on code, black folks would have said, okay, you know what? We got to make some noise for y'all. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all about to default on your loans in the next 2 years anyway, especially if this advisory goes longer than, let's say conceivably February 1st. If you sneak this advisory into Q2, y'all are done. England's going to come down there and divide y'all up even more. And by that point, the way y'all been talking, nobody's going to advocate for you. By the way, reparations is trending on Twitter again, but, But let's move on to the mother continent, Africa. Because like I said, I was in Beatzilla's and Black Alpha Space before I came on here. And some idiot from the Sudan was going up in there talking about how black Americans shouldn't be asking for reparations because they should just be working hard. And those white supremacist talking points about how we're lazy. Well, I'm considered a Yankee, so I'm kind of like y'all's redheaded step cousin. Well, RBG headed cousin, whatever y'all want to say. But yeah, he came in there and tried it with Beatzilla. He tried it with me. Luckily, Black Alpha wasn't there because the room was messing up. But Beatzilla and I were checking him. But yeah, they want to talk about reparations, say that y'all are lazy, y'all shouldn't get it, this, that, and the third. But it again, like I said before, it's easy for them to come out here and say something against reparations because it gives them light. But then you ask them, what about your people? What about your country? Why aren't you advocating for your country to get ready, get on code, so you can get what you need? Of course, he couldn't answer that. But here we are. Sudan police tear gas pro-democracy protests. Yeah. The Sudan, bed of political and economic dysfunction for better part of 50 years. But their people are now joining in with the anti-reparationists. All right. Man, sir, do you understand people like BBC, Sky News, Reuters, Al Jazeera, the American media, they live to this, y'all. And yes, I will talk about the African Union and the G20 before I get up out of here, because there's something in there that you guys need to understand. If Africa goes through with this, they're pretty much done. Africa is going to be a barren wasteland with nomadic people. But let's talk about this. Sudanese security forces in the capital have fired tear gas and stun grenades to disperse thousands of people protesting against military rule. Sudan. So the military runs your government. You're not worried about that. You're worried about reparations 8,000 miles away that you can't get. Okay. The demonstrators towards the presidential palace were chased away by police. Jamaica, you could learn something from that. They went to the presidential palace. They at least had enough nuts to go see the president. They dismissed the deal signed recently between the military and civilians, saying it was too vague. The protest took place on the 4th anniversary of the start of an uprising that toppled Omar al-Bashir. He had been in power for 3 decades before he was forced out in April 2019. Short-lived transition to civilian rule ended 2 years later when the military staged a coup. And Biden and them sat right there and let it happen. A fortnight ago, the junta leaders agreed to hand back power to civilian groups in a move to end the ongoing political crisis. A transitional 2-year period led by civilian leaders was agreed upon, but pro-democracy protesters, mostly young women and men, opposed the deal. We will not accept anything other than a civilian government, protester Samira Hassan is quoted by the AFP news agency as saying. Chance of you will not rule us with this deal and back to the barracks were heard, AFP reports. African Free Press. Earlier this month, when the deal was signed, internationally acclaimed Sudanese filmmaker Hajooj Kuka told the BBC, trust is broken, the military could do this again. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. But y'all worried about reparations over here. Neymar X, hello. Y'all worried about reparations over here when the military runs your government. I'm supposed to take your country seriously, sir, in that space. When y'all want to be Arabic. Y'all want to be Middle Eastern so bad. I'm supposed to take y'all seriously. Okay. Nigerians, you're next. Because y'all have been the most vocal for the entire year. Y'all been so vocal about no reparations when it would be more advantageous for you guys to, I don't know, shut up. Again, the Western media loves to highlight your dysfunction. See, y'all can run on Twitter and say, oh, black Americans, all they doing is they're a kata business and putting up videos of us eating dogs and kicking each other over because we put our hands in pots and all that. We didn't put those videos up. We don't take those videos. That's your people doing it. But yeah, y'all worried about money that's due to black Americans, yet we have Peter Obi campaign chief Donian Okupe convicted of money laundering. I don't hear y'all putting none of this up there. Why y'all not highlighting this stuff? See, stuff like this, if y'all would have put this on your Twitters and your Instagrams and your social media and really highlighted it, maybe people would say, you know what? They may not be as tetherish as we think they are. They might be trying to work to something positive. Nope. Y'all running these rooms, or y'all create your own rooms to talk bad about black Americans. But the second we come in there and say, listen, why don't y'all talk about your own people, and we highlight things, y'all get defensive and y'all start muting mics and talking stuff. I'm not even going to read this story. Nigeria, y'all got your own problems. Y'all still up in there in the Northwest killing Christians, but we not going to go there. Right? We not going there. It's Christmas week. We not going to go there. We not going to go there. Djibouti, that chick that represents you that sits in Twitter spaces all day downing black Americans. Just a friendly reminder, I did this months ago. The American military has one base in the entire continent of Africa. It's parked in your country. Now, you would think it's for strategy purposes. You know, maybe they get to the Middle East quicker there. or maybe if something pops off with Russia or China, we'd be to get there a little bit quicker. No, ladies and gentlemen, they put that base in Djibouti because they think the next accelerated terrible version of bin Laden or one of these other terrorists is going to come out of that country. I'll say that again. There is an American base in Djibouti for the sole purpose of checking the people to make sure the next bin Laden or one of these other terrible terrorists don't pop up because they believe that it's going to come out of that region. But y'all are worried about Black Americans and their money. I could talk about the Nigerian scamming through the PPP. I could talk about that. That's easy. I could do an hour broadcast just highlighting all the different people that got hit with the scam. And the government came for them. I could do that. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm not petty like that. Plus, I don't want to stay on here too long. Remember what I said, this week, this live stream, there will be no Twitter things because I'm saving it all for Saturday, folks. We have locked it down. Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Myself, Beatzilla, Black Alpha, Torian Rain, Afro Elite. We will be doing a massive end of the year on code stream. And it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about our platforms, how we did in 2022, and what we hope to accomplish in 2023. And we'll have special guests in the room. Twitter things will be massive. And there will be a giveaway from yours truly. Somebody will be getting a Christmas gift from me. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. After I finish this show, I'm going to do the thumbnail for that, share it out on my Twitter and Instagram, and send it out to the fellas. And then we'll all start promoting. And then hopefully you're here Saturday on the channel. We're going to have fun. But again, back to the Nigerians. Nigeria, I can easily just do that. I don't want to do that. Because it's not fun kicking you while you're down. It's not fun. But the point of me saying all this is this, family. This should serve as an indicator to how close reparations are now. I know Biden sent off that $55 billion to Africa. I understand that. That was a bribe. I get that. Talking about, oh, this is, this is to pay for the atrocities that, your countries did. It is basically to right or wrong. BS. This is a bribe. Yes, Neymar X. The only countries worth a damn on the continent are Mali, Burkina Faso, the CAR, and the Congo. Well, I don't even think there's a Central African Republic anymore. I think it's called something else. But, yeah. Biden and them at the State Department saw the situation going on with Apple and how Apple's talking about pulling out their factory in China. So he wants to get in with Africa now so we can get access to them parts, which I'm not going to completely knock him for because that is a smart business strategy. And we all know he ain't come up with it, but it was a smart business strategy, especially with these electric vehicles. They're going to need the chips and the components and all that. And Africa has this stuff. But what Africa should have done was taken that $55 million and said, F you, and used it to get on code. But this is the part right here, family, that I need you to watch. This is what I need y'all to watch. As part of that pledge, Biden called on the African Union to become a permanent member of the G20. I'm going to say something very controversial here, but I don't care who doesn't like it. If you're B1, if you're Friedman, FBA, we have to resoundingly make sure that this does not happen. With becoming a member of the G20 summit, you get not only voting power and political influence around the world, but you also get money. Money that's still owed to you guys. All Biden really did with this $55 million was not only put America ahead of a free-falling China, but he's trying to incentivize Africans to forget their role in the slave trade. And when reparations does get to the level where money is going to be possible, and you guys lump Africa into it, they're going to be able to say, well, your government paid us off for the atrocities, so we don't owe you a damn thing. And that's going to be what's going to hold up the procedure. Y'all got to watch out for that. And this is also a way for Biden to have all the leaders there to see who plays on his script and who the outliers are. He wants to make sure that the leaders that of these countries, that they stay on the globalist script. Everybody's got to get called out. Everybody. Once we put everybody and highlight everybody, it gets better. We know who's playing the game with us and who's against us. Because now, like I said a year ago, it's going to be no coincidence that once reparations start really tracking off, you're really going to find out who was really for it and who was really against it. Now, we've done a great job of relegating the conservatives, and I'm talking about the TV and YouTube version. Their words on reparation don't mean a damn thing anymore. Because the second they open their mouths, we check them. Now we've turned our attention to Twitter Spaces, and we're checking people there. And we're checking people on social media with it. We're checking them with receipts. That's got to continue in 2023. Because trust and believe, come 2024, especially in the South, and I want y'all to hear me on this, the South is going to be the headquarters of the reparations movement in this country. This is going to be the epicenter. When we kick, I'm just going to tell y'all this. When we kicked Stacey Abrams' ass in Georgia, that's upset the apple cart. They don't want to tell you that. And I'm going to show you the proof in a minute. They don't want to tell y'all that. She was supposed to be the person that was supposed to kill the reparations movement. Because we all saw for the last year how she was deflecting away from reparations. She didn't want to talk about it. When she did have her momentary lapse, when she actually entertained the question, she either said no or did a word salad. She was supposed to kill it when she became governor. She was going to be on TV every month or every 2 weeks because she would have been the media darling. They would have been hosting her her governor addresses like they did with Cuomo with the Belle Biv DeVoe. And she was going to keep slickly talking against reparations to the point that nobody would have cared about it after that. But we got her up out the paint, which was a very big win. And I say that's a very big win because now, family, with us collectivizing Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, starting up reparations task force down here where the biggest concentration of black people are. Now the message is going to get amplified. It's going to get harder, but it's going to get better because you can't shout down an army of black people for reparations. But Stacey, they won't let you go. Stacey, you're being investigated, man. You're being investigated. You're being investigated. I told y'all this was going to happen if she lost. She was going to get investigated. White supremacy always breaks their tools. She did not. I repeat, she did not destroy the reparations talk. If anything, she made it stronger, much to her detriment and the DNC and the RNC's detriment. And now here we are, folks. Stacey Abrams' campaign reportedly $1 million in debt after midterm loss. Now, this just came out at noon today, folks. Oh, I read this story about 4 times and I laughed. Oh, I was laughing because I predicted this months ago. I said if she lost, New Georgia Project was going to be under the microscope, and they're going to investigate her. Stacey Abrams' campaign is $1 million in debt, despite raising more than $100 million in her second straight unsuccessful Georgia gubernatorial bid, according to a report Monday. Now, by the way, Kemp spent more than that and he won, so that should tell you something. The Democratic stalwarts campaign owes the cash to vendors, Axios reported sign manager Lauren Grow-Wargo. White feminist, by the way. White lesbian feminist, by the way. Though Abrams is known for her fundraising and get out the vote skills, the campaign's 180 full-time staffers got their last paychecks November 15th, just a week after Election Day. The report said, people have told me they have no idea how they're going to pay their rent in January, former staffer told the outlet. It was more than unfortunate. It was messed up because you thought she was going to win. So you guys thought you were already going to be in as staffers. This is why our parents tell us, always have a backup plan. This is what happens to white liberals when they hitch their wagons to somebody that they can't see the forest for the trees. She lost. Thank you. Grow-Wargo claimed the campaign was a hit by a cavalcade of negative press and negative that hindered fundraising in the final months, adding that it has had to work with brokers to sell donor and voter databases to help pay down the debt. Really? So you had to sell donor and voter databases. I'm going to pay attention to that. So you're selling off people's information. Okay. Abrams lost to Republican Governor Brian Kemp in a rematch of their bitter 2018 contest. Stacey Abrams gives her that's just a picture. Stacey Abrams and campaign manager Lauren Groh Wargo, who kind of looks like that chick, Allison Janney, but we're not gonna go there. Not gonna diss her. Maybe. In November 20, after suffering defeat 4 years ago by just under 55,000 votes, Abrams was crushed in the rematch by more than 299,000 votes. Damn. They're not mincing words, family. She got crushed. We did not just lose. We got blown out. Grow Wargo told Axios. It was the most suboptimal situation to be in, and we will be dealing with that situation for some time. I'm a black man, and I approve that message. I shall take the blame for that. The campaign manager told Axios that she wanted to do a lot of things differently, but I had to move as fast as possible. Okay. She announced in December of 2020. The election was November 8th. You had 11 months. Matter of fact, I tell a lie. You had from 2019 to November 8th, 2022 to get her message right. Y'all had 3 years to get a message to black folks that black folks could get behind. And the number one was reparations. Number two was to make sure that we had legislation on the books that said, if the cops do something to us, we can go get them. If people do something to us, we can go get them. If y'all try to play with us, we have legislation. You can't screw with us. Y'all did not want to push that message. Y'all wanted to do an all lives matter message. And look what happened. Look what happened. You did not inspire us. You sent flunky B and C list actors and actresses down here to try to stump for this woman who don't even live here, by the way. You imported coons from California to try to stump for this woman. And we looked at y'all crazy.
See, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Y'all played that game too much. And look what happened. She lost. I'm sorry. She lost. Thank you. Even the 3-year-old knows. Because y'all don't listen. But okay. Y'all think y'all smarter than us. All right, say less. But we know the courts in Georgia are going to say a lot. A younger, that's a picture. We tried to do the best we could to make sure that help would be there for folks. Grow Wargo said, knowing that the campaign had paid staffers health benefits through November. Okay, that's mighty nice of you. However, the report said Kemp's campaign staff was paid through November and received bonuses. Baby. Wife. She has her headphones off, whatever. So Kemp's campaign staff was paid through November and received bonuses. Huh. Staffers on the campaign of Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker were being paid through December. Wait a minute. So almost Senator CTE, aka Walker Georgia Ranger, his people were able, that coon was able to pay people through December? Well, first of all, you know, we might have lost, but, you know, as Walker Georgia Ranger, I have to make sure to take care of the people. So the coon got to be able to take care of the people, but the coon that they wanted couldn't. Interesting. I wonder what she did with that money. I wonder what she did with that money. We're going to find out. The poor treatment irked some former Abrams staffers. Here we go. What them young kids say? Here comes the tea. I figured $100 million? They should be able to pay me until December, one told Axios. However, another said the campaign's rate of compensation was relatively high and that the Human Resources Department went above and beyond to help them find new jobs. Okay, so they were paying more, but it ran out quicker. Interesting. Georgia Democratic operative Chris Hutman told Axios that Abrams' two gubernatorial campaigns had a well-documented habit of throwing money around. So she was pulling Magic City. All right, cool. She was running a campaign where there's always been more money in the future that can fix the mistakes of the past, he said. This is not the first time entities linked to Abrams have been questioned about their spending habits. Damn. In October, the Abrams-founded Fight Fair PAC launched an internal investigation after Fox News reported that friends and family of its political director had been given cushy jobs with little to no relevant experience. Days later, Politico reported that the Atlanta law firm employing Abrams' campaign chief, Allegra Lawrence Hardy, was paid more than $9 million to fight a legal case alleging voter suppression in 2018 governor's race, allegations of a conflict of interest. They are coming for you, Stacey. You, New Georgia Project, Fair Fight, they're coming for you. Yes, Neymar X. Yes, the DNC is broke. They are broke. That's why they need the young people to come out and vote, because they want to take the young people's money. We have to make sure we get to the young people, make sure they have knowledge of self, understand that they are freedmen, understand they are B1, understand they are code, and do not vote for an agenda that does not make sure that you arise. Not that stupid Obama, all rising tide lifts all boats crap. No, the agenda has to be black first centric. And if it does not align with it, you do not vote for it. We have to make sure to get to the young kids. But Stacey Abrams, yes, your partners at the DNC, they're broke. Guess what? The RNC is also broke because their political donors are pissed off that they took L's during the midterms that they should have won. But all they want to do is have extravagant parties and these conservative orgies. Documented, of course. You could go look it up. And they weren't out there pushing the messages that people wanted to hear, which was close the border, fix the economy, get crime under control, and, make us happy Americans again like they were under Trump. That's what they said, not me. But, of course, this is the government we're talking about. They don't care about the people. This is why they want to take our guns away. They want to take our power tools away because they know eventually we're going to get tired. All of us. See, there's one thing about the government that they understand and that the people understand. There's such thing called the Second Amendment. I'm not talking about the gun part. I'm talking about the part where it says that the people have the right to form a militia if the government gets out of line. They're afraid one day the light's going to click and everybody's going to say, you know what? I may hate you, sir. You may be a white supremacist, but I hate the government even more. So I'm going to be 3 miles away from you. You be 3 miles away from me, but we're going to go get this government. They don't want that. I know that might be a cool thing to say. I'm just saying. This is how the government thinks. They think that one day the entire American populace is going to ride up and go to Washington and go see whoever's in the administration at this point, which could be Biden and them. And Biden can't handle that. He might pull a Fred Sanford. I'm just saying. And then he'll be in the window seeing 1 million plus pissed off Americans. And he's just going to be sitting there with Kamami like this. And they can't say it was Trump's fault. He incited it. Can't do that. But before I get out of here, let's end it off right. Oh yeah, I forgot. I mentioned Biden, so I got to do this.
Insult to my existence.
For all these people who wait, before I even do that, you know what? Y'all just reminded me of something. There's one other person I gotta get before I get up out of here. How did I forget that? Damn. I can't believe I forgot that. And no, we're not talking about Faizon Love, because I'm gonna get him. But not him. There was somebody else who said something on Twitter about reparations and got soundly smacked down because they won't keep their mouth shut about something they don't know about. And I was going to do a video on this, but I said, you know what, since I'm on the live stream, let's just do it here. So here we are, folks, and we'll blow it up a little bit so you could see this. They came with charts. Now, you know, these tethers love them some Pew Research. But here you go. Meet Wanjiru Najoya, author, teacher, libertarian. By the way, she's from the UK. The UK. So she fled to the UK. Got it. We'll just put that out there for context. So she happened to say 77% of black Americans feel they deserve free money from the government for being black, and they feel it's fair to ask innocent white, Hispanic, and Asian Americans to pay up for their historical grievances. See, these are the type of messages that we cannot have, because we never said anything about white, Hispanic, and Asian Americans. We never included them. We said we should not patronize their stores, especially the ones in our neighborhoods. That's what we said. But of course, you have people like her who are not 24/7, 365 in the trenches putting out statements like this. But I'm going to correct her today. Number one, Wanjiru. Every sector of this country gets free money except black Americans. I know that's a concept that you don't understand because you're over there in East Devon in the UK, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But free money, you say. 10 to 1, you won't go tell them Jews they shouldn't be getting free money, right? Guess what? All these groups that you mentioned, including black Americans, pay for them Jews to get their money. You know, from the Second World War. You know, the H word. Did you know that? You probably did. But okay. Number 2. Did you know, Wanjiru Najoya, that the Chinese immigrants, their families, they still get money? You know, the Chinese immigrants that allegedly built San Francisco, you know, the tunnel systems and all that, allegedly, because they weren't the only ones that were doing it. But okay, we'll play by history book standards. They still get reparations for that. Did you know that? You're an author, so you should know this. Number 3, the Hispanic community. Let's talk about them. The Hispanic community. Let's talk about the Cubans. The Cubans got to take over an entire American city. They run an entire American city, Miami. Did you think they just did that based on the money that they were bringing in? Hell no. The government helped fund them. And the number one culprit was the Florida government. You didn't know that now, did you? The Florida government saw how fast Miami was growing in the 80s and they funneled money into it because they envisioned Miami by 2030 to be a major metropolitan center on the likes of Tokyo and New York. Guess who's going to run it? That's right, the Cubans. But I bet you knew that. You know, you being an author and all, you should have known that. See, it's easy to put up Pew Research numbers. Guess what? Look. They said estimates for Asian adults are representative English speakers only. Source, survey of U.S. adults conducted October 4th to 17th, 2021. So they did this last year. Ma'am, do you understand how far the conversation has progressed in a year? Hell, do you understand how far the conversation has progressed in the last 6 months? Ma'am, you're over there in East Devon, so you might not know how American media works. When the American mainstream media picks up on reparations or something that black folks are talking about, it becomes lexicon. It becomes a world issue. Jesse Waters did a segment that Jason Black did on Saturday. He did a segment about reparations. Bill Maher has done something about reparations. Rachel Maddow has mentioned reparations. Now, these are 3 white entities. 3. California's reparation task force has been in the media's mouth since its inception. But let's talk about your country, the country you fled to. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So you were in the service. Let's talk. Oh, this is my daughter in a new cadet uniform. She joined this year, CCF Army. So proud of her. Uh-huh. Okay. Not even gonna knock your daughter. She do what she do. Not even gonna knock her. But ma'am, let me talk to you for a second. You're from East Devon. You're from East Devon. You worried about what black Americans are doing over here. Ma'am, I hate to do this to you. I really hate doing this to you. I really don't. But we're in the month of December, are we not? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You guys over there about to freeze to death. I know. I know. I wasn't supposed to know this. I wasn't supposed to know this. 4 days ago. 4 days ago. Well, no, I'm sorry. A week ago. Your country had to put back on coal factories. Your country, the one you fled to, had to start up 2, not 1, 2 coal factories because they couldn't handle the heating demands coming up in the winter. And you might have had rolling blackouts during the winter, which sucks. But you worried about what black Americans are doing over here, ma'am. When in fact, your country over there that you fled to is lying to you. When they try to say there's not going to be any power cuts this winter. Right. UK households can be confident there will be no power cuts this winter unless Britain suffers a major external shock to its electricity supply, cabinet minister has said. Right. Oliver Dowden's pledge comes amid fears of pressure on the electricity grid if imports from Europe dry up, with potential for the first planned cuts in decades during the colder months. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The National Grid electricity system operator said in October that it was unlikely that households and businesses might be deprived of power for short periods to prevent a collapse. Uh-huh. But Mr. Dowden, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, said on Sunday people could be confident that there will not be blackouts this winter, sad for some very, very major external shock that would affect the supply of power into this country. You mean like, I don't know, a cutoff of supply? Or people attacking the power grid like they tried to do over here? But you're not the only one that's had a problem, ma'am. Europe, look at this. Paris Christmas lights to be switched off early to save energy. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Really? But y'all over there worried about the World Cup. Y'all need to worry about you should be worried if you don't have a fireplace in your crib. Your flat. That's what y'all call it. Your flat or your cottage. If you don't got a fireplace and they do rolling blackouts, y'all are screwed. Y'all worried about climate change so much. Here you go. There have also been major unplanned cuts during storms, including 1987, when more than 1.5 million people were left in the dark. But the lights will stay on this winter unless the gas-fired power plants that produce 43% of Britain's electricity over the past year cannot get enough fuel to keep running. Uh-huh. But they had to turn them on. Mm-hmm. They were announcing this back in August. But y'all want to worry about what's going on over here. Now y'all understand why people don't take y'all serious when y'all talk. B1 Jeff will. Y'all got the nerve to talk about what's going on over here. And like I said before in the beginning, family, outside of me and maybe Jason Black, the rest of new black media really does not talk about other countries' problems unless it's significant. I'm probably the only one that consistently does it because I need to highlight, as being non-FBA, those that are not FBA need to worry about their own countries and what they're doing over there. Y'all imitate a culture you say don't exist. Y'all try to take credit for things that you didn't create away from people that have established, concrete, irrefutable proof. You see this and you still try to take credit for it. Okay, they check you on it, but by and large, they know that's not the fight. But when you bring up reparations, you better come correct. Because not only will you get schooled for your ignorance, But depending on how you move, you're going to get exposed. And like I said, I was in Beatzilla space today and I exposed a Sudanese motherfucker who decided to try to say something about black Americans being lazy. That old trope. No, sir. No, sir. Sudan is in peril. The UK is about to collapse. I know a lot of people don't see this because they're technically a first world entity. But the UK is going to collapse. France is on its way. If they're not careful, Italy's gonna fall. So all you Africans that seem to think that you can run up the Mediterranean into Italy, you're just basically gonna be running to a country that's north of the equator, maybe a little bit better weather, but it's gonna be just like back home. No opportunities. Because we've seen many a story about Africans in Rome, but we're not going to touch that. Not today. If China don't right themselves, BRICS is going to be in trouble. BRICS is trying to get G20 into and bring them into the fold because they know China is starting to spiral out of control, and they're going to need an economy to help be the bridge to that until they can get back on their feet, if they ever do. If China loses Apple, that's going to accelerate it even more. If the Republicans get in, ain't going to do much, but the one thing that they're going to campaign on is shutting down the border and limiting exports from the East. By the way, yes, Neymar, as places like Italy and Greece are done. By the way, just so it's clear to everybody in the room, Africa does not see themselves as black freedmen see themselves. Africa tends to think of itself, even though it's in the middle of the world, they tend to think themselves on the eastern side of the world. They fancy themselves part of the eastern hemisphere. So they like to align with that thinking. That thinking is going to get them destroyed because there's no balance. Hell, we'll go even further. Jamaica and Haiti have the same mindset. They think they're Eastern. Let me ask y'all a question. You Eastern thinking powers. You fancy yourselves that, but your Eastern power brokers don't come over to help. They come over to hinder. And you have a cavalcade of people who are trying to tell y'all, we will help you, but you got to show us something. You say that's wrong. We're Katas, Yankees, and all that, and ignore us and undermine us to go play with a sector of people that just want to use you, but you'd rather take the attention than take the assistance. I guess that's Eastern thinking for you. All right. Y'all have fun. But anyway, folks, let me get up out of here. It's been fun. Appreciate the 19 people that are in the room. Before I go, like I said, y'all can check out the merch store. Got merch up. I will be putting up a coupon code tomorrow. Free shipping well, free standard shipping. So you can get your shirts, including the homie, the unicorn. Saturday, 3 p.m. Beatzilla, Black Alpha, Torian Rain, Afro Elite, myself will be on a massive stream, end of the year on Code Stream. We're gonna have fun. There will be giveaways, a massive Twitter things, and we will be talking about our platforms. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very fun. I may even do a live stream on Sunday. We'll see. I ain't sure yet. I might not do it. But if I do, I'll let you know by Thursday on the community tab. But yes, we're going to go get up out of here. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Stay warm out there. Look after your people. Again, no one is changing the message. Nobody. But y'all know what to do when the agitators of peace come and try to tell you something.